Breaking tonight, for the very first time, you're about to hear exclusive new insight into a devastating terror attack from the American heroes who lived to tell about it. It comes as a blockbuster movie about their story is released that could change everything you thought you knew about Benghazi and directly impact the 2016 race for the White House. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. This past weekend, Paramount Pictures released 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. It tells the minute-by-minute account of the men who risked everything to save their fellow Americans from terrorists 11 years to the day after 9/11. And it happened in the shadow of the 2012 presidential election. When it was all over, 4 Americans had lost their lives. But if not for the men who say they defied direct orders to stand down and not help, even more could have died. Here is an exclusive clip, new, from the just-released film.
How many? Hello? Hello? GRS, muster to CP right now.
I thought it was going to be a peaceful night.
Information than that.
We got you. How many?
20 to 40 attackers. State personnel is separated in several positions.
Listen up. None of you have to go. We are the only help they have. 2 vehicles staged and ready. Let's go. Move, move.
Tonight, you will hear directly from 3 of the real-life American heroes who say this story is not about politics. It's about the truth of what really happened on the ground in Benghazi, Libya. It's about a band of brothers willing to die so that their fellow Americans might live. Our exclusive sit-down with them is moments away. But we begin tonight with Trace Gallagher reporting from Los Angeles on what those seeing the film now are saying about this extraordinary picture.
Megyn, the film is based on the best-selling book 13 Hours, the inside account of what really happened in Benghazi, co-written by security contractors who on 9/11/2012 were in Benghazi at the CIA station called the Annex. Actor John Krasinski plays Jack, a member of the 6-man global response team in charge of defending the Annex. His real identity is still a mystery. In the controversial book and movie, the team says they were told to stand down 3 different times on the night of the attack, an order that they blame for the death of all 4 Americans killed that night.
Pull over for inspection.
Sorry, sir, I can't do that.
Pull over for inspection.
Call it the power of the motion picture, but experts say in the next few weeks, the public will learn more about Benghazi from this movie than they have in the past 3+ years of congressional hearings and news reporting. Anything from the movie surprise you? Did you learn any new details at all watching this?
I had no idea that so much took place at the Annex, and what they had to fend off there was just incredible.
Didn't look like where they were was very safe, and you know, they should have had more support.
My stomach's still churning when you actually see it. I mean, to see what our men and women go through.
As you watched the movie, did you think there could be political ramifications, that this could affect Hillary Clinton?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Because she was the Secretary of State, right? She should have been on the phone. There should have been some communication with them.
I think there's a lot of answering to be done.
This coming back after it has been pretty much swept under the rugs is going to have a major impact on the election and on her future as a politician.
That certainly would impact my vote going forward.
It's key to point out the team's station chief tells the Washington Post the stand-down order is fiction and the film is flat out wrong. The CIA goes further, calling the movie, quote, shameful and a distortion of the events and people who served in Benghazi that night. Megyn.
Before we get to our exclusive interview, we want to give you a little more background on the men you are about to meet, on what motivated them, and on why they decided to tell their story. Take a look at this.
My name is Christian Peranto, and my call sign was Tonto. And I was with the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. I was in Bravo Company.
Name's John Tigan, former Marine. Did 4 years with the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines.
My name's Mark Geist. My call sign's Oz. I was in the Marine Corps for 12 years. I was in Benghazi for about 30 days when the attack happened that night.
Hey everybody, this is Jack Silva. Jack, it's our 3rd contract together, so he knows the drill.
We had the DB, former Marine, Jack, who was a SEAL, and then Roan, he was a SEAL. It was a good crew. 13 Hours just tells the minute-by-minute story of what happened that night. Try to get what we all did and what we went through.
We as a team decided that the story that wasn't being told out there was what actually happened that night, and so we felt compelled to make sure the story gets out there the right way. It's not about the politics, it's the story of what happened on the ground.
GRS stands for Global Response Services. We're mainly used in high-threat areas.
We are the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency, and we just provide protection in austere environments.
Dave, we're coming in. We're on property. Is Chris inside? Is he still inside? Get down!
All of us were former military, Spec Ops guys or Marines. You're working with some of the top guys in their respective services.
13 hours was how long we were in the fight that night.
The state guys, we just heard them on the radio say, hey, if you guys don't get over here, we're all gonna die. And we just kind of looked at each other and said, we gotta go now.
None of you have to go. But we are the only help they have.
Americans help Americans overseas, especially in areas where there wasn't any military support.
We had to go, no matter what. Damn the consequences.
Got some wind, here we go. Roll.
Our director is Michael Bay. He's been very respectful to us, and he's taken this seriously, and he's got us involved.
Michael has that vision of what he wants, and he's doing it in a way so it's as accurate as possible.
Ready, and go. You won't touch.
My teammates did so many amazing things, and it's a story of the battle. It's a story of a lot of sacrifice that went on. It shows that there's still guys out there that are willing to sacrifice their lives for others, you know, to put others before themselves.
Very good. Got it. Beautiful.
Joining me now, 3 of the heroes who saved dozens of Americans that night. Mark Geist, known as Oz, Chris Peranto, who goes by Tonto, and John Tigan, also known as Tig. Thank you all so much for being here. Tonto, let me start with you.
Sure.
How true to life is the film?
Example of when I walked out of the theater after I saw it, I felt just drained. Like there was a big hole inside me, and it was because I really virtually went back to Benghazi when I was watching it, and I missed it so much that it was a part of me that I relived on the screen. I realized how much I've been missing over these last 2 years.
You missed it?
I do. I miss.
What do you mean? The film depicts absolute hell.
It's not. It's amazing being with your brothers and fighting in them. Geez, I don't know. It's weird. Being there and being with them and having the faith that you're going to defeat all the obstacles. And yeah, I relive it. You know, usually don't get like this. So no, it brought home a lot of the truths that we went through, and a lot of the like I said, the brotherhood is the best way I can explain it. So yeah, I miss it immensely. I've sacrificed a lot to get to this point, and one of it's the job that I really, really loved. Yeah, I'd go back there in a heartbeat.
The movie and the book takes the viewer and the reader through the story of Benghazi, so our viewers are up to speed. It starts off at the diplomatic outpost, the so-called consulate, where Ambassador Chris Stevens was, and the attack on that compound that was not caused by a video, where RPGs and mortars and so on are set off, and Ambassador Chris Stevens dies due to smoke inhalation, along with Sean Smith.
Yep, Sean.
These guys, in the meantime, are off at the CIA annex, another post that's less than a mile away, chomping at the bit, saying, send us, send us. You can hear the distress calls. You can hear the radio calls of the State Department personnel saying, we're going to die, we're going to die, we're going to die. The CIA station chief, where you were at the time, told you repeatedly, according to the movie, stand down. We saw that in the trailers. Use the words, stand down. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, I mean, it was him. It was the chief of base, the deputy chief, and our team leader. They were sitting on the front porch, and when he told me to stand down.
Ultimately, the movie depicts you guys saying, we're going. And Tyrone Wood specifically saying, and that's quoted in the movie, saying to all of you, it's up to you, but we're the only help they have.
Losing initiative.
Stand down!
If you do not get here soon,
We are all gonna die.
none of you have to go. We are the only help they have.
Did that really happen?
And that did happen. And the radio call from Alec Henderson coming across saying, hey, if you guys don't all get here, we're all going to bleep and die. That's word for word. That's what actually spurned us after. And I know there's been conflicts about being the call was at 9:42. I still remember on my watch it being 9:32 when we were first called. But hard in our hair, after 30 minutes of waiting, and Alec comes across and says, if you don't get her, we're all going to F and die. We bucked orders and we left.
You all have testified to this, and the trailer that we just watched, it captures it too, with the writing on the screen. There was no support. If there's one theme that emerges, that is it, that they were left alone. There was no one to back you up. Throughout the film, you see heroes understanding, based on their experience, that the American military will be there to back them up and support them. And help never came. I mean,
for us, for the military to come and support us, the agency, we wouldn't expected it. But the fact that they had the U.S. ambassador who'd been missing probably for about 5 hours before they actually officially, he was considered dead, and they didn't send anything or attempt to push anything that way is pretty crazy. I mean, I would never expect him just to leave the ambassador out there.
what did you expect would come? What did you think would show up? Who or what?